Right, we're going to look at enhancing images where we've used long exposure photography to capture light trails from passing traffic. So we're going to start with the raw file, and what I'll do first is just use the highlights slider and pull it all the way to the left here to compress and bring down the highlights in the image. Also, I want to work in a wider color gamut, which will enable me to push the intensity of these red tones further before clipping them. So to do this, I can set the output profile here to ProPhoto RGB. If you don't have ProPhoto, you can use the ROM profile, which is essentially the same gamut, or failing that, you can use Adobe RGB. But I'll stick to ProPhoto for now. And we're going to start with a fairly flat image. So I'm essentially almost creating a template with the develop persona, and all the heavier lifting is going to be done in the photo persona. So I'll go ahead and click develop. Okay then, so I'll just open up the layers panel here, and first of all what I'm going to do is add a black and white adjustment. Now what we're going to do is set this blend mode to multiply, and we'll bring the reds and yellows up all the way. So what this does is darkens a lot of the surrounding tones here, but it allows us to keep the colour in the light trails and foreground. So I'll just close the dialog. Now on top of that, I'll add an HSL adjustment. And here I want to switch from master to reds. And targeting the reds, I'm going to increase the saturation shift to about 40%. So that will make these tones here more intense. Now what we'll do is add another HSL adjustment, and this time we'll move across to yellows and take them almost all the way down. Now the reason we've added this separately is because with this one we're going to exclude the light trail by masking it out. As you might see here, the light trail also contains some yellow tones, and it would be a shame to lessen those. So then, to paint off this adjustments mask layer, it's really straightforward. All we do is grab the paintbrush tool. Let's take the hardness down and increase the width to perhaps a slightly bigger brush than that, about 350 pixels. And then across on the color panel here, we want to make sure we've got black selected. And as we hover over the trail, we can just see a slight subtle difference here, so I'll just paint in. And what we're doing now is excluding the light trail from that yellow tone desaturation. And also down here, I'll just bring out that yellow streak that runs across the lower part of the trail here. Okay, now good. Because we've masked the light trail out of this HSL adjustment, it also means we can double click it, go to reds, and increase the saturation shift for the reds, and that will intensify the reflections down here. We can do this because if we were still affecting the light trail, it would look rather ugly, because we're then starting to push the tones more so than we really should be. Okay, so next we'll just add a curves adjustment, and all we're going to do here is just bring the shadows down slightly and then give the midtones and highlights a healthy boost. Okay, so the final stage is cropping. We have a lot of black space up here that's not really helping the composition, so if we select the crop tool, we'll just grab the top handle here and pull it down until we begin to crop out most of that space. Then we'll just click apply, and there we go. By having more of a panoramic aspect ratio, it really brings this light trail to the forefront and helps it to stand out. So there we go, that's all for now. I hope that's given you some ideas. If you have any questions or queries, please do ask on the Affinity forums, and don't forget to check out the other video tutorials. Thank you for watching.